What's going on, sports fans? This is Jake Waxman.
And Tyler Lavalette.
Coming to you live from the studio here, Waterford 10, with another Friday Roundtable. Sports fans, I'm going to just start by saying this. If you love baseball right now, then you know what? 2025, great year to watch some baseball because we've got not one, but two Game 5s in the Division Series. Let's start off with the one I know all of you Detroit fans are prepared for. Tyler Lavalette, take it away.
Absolutely. We have the Seattle Mariners and Detroit Tigers going at it in Seattle at 8 p.m. tonight. The series, of course, is tied at 2 wins apiece. It was really helped thanks to Javier Baez and others on Wednesday in Game 4 in Detroit. We have a clip of a defensive play, for example. Can we see it? Well, hold on, Lee.
Bouncing ball to Suarez. Nice sling to second for one, and safe at first.
Nice, look at that.
And McKinstry, because of that early
Effective base running, and that really helped out a lot.
Those kind of plays you need, and that can make all the difference in even a game this close.
Absolutely. Tigers go up with Tarek Skubal tonight. Having said that, my prediction still is that they're not going to win to make it past tonight. As much as it pains me to say that, but I'm still sticking by it. I just feel like guys like Cal Raleigh and Eugenio Suarez are just too good to take lightly. But we'll just have to see what happens with Skubal, Riley Green, Javi Baez, and others, and Torkelson.
All right, Tyler, you just good job, Tyler. You just brought me to the point that I was going to start with when it comes to the Tigers. You know what? If the Tigers, if they're going to pull off a big win tonight and advance to the ALCS, or the Championship Series on the American League side of things as we know it, some guys are going to need to step up. The Tigers, they're going to need all the firepower they can get tonight. Tyler mentioned Riley Green. They definitely need him to show up. And also Spencer Torkelson. We need some Detroit, you need that torque tonight. Big time. And you mentioned Skubal, and of course, my personal favorite, Javier Baez. If he can come up big time in this game, Detroit's going to have a chance to pull off a huge, huge win in the Emerald City. This is it. Game 5, Motown, Emerald City. Who's going to come out on top in Game 5, I wonder.
And the question is, who in turn goes to Toronto to face the Blue Jays? They took care of the Yankees in 4 games. And now await the winner of this series. That series will start on Sunday.
Indeed. Before I forget, a couple other things I want to mention. You know, there's a couple different ways this game could go. I mean, maybe this will be a high-scoring game, but there's a part of me that thinks this could be a bullpen game. This could be a low-scoring game, and it could come down to whose bullpen is going to be the freshest, who's going to have the most energy. Can this Tigers team go on the road and match the Emerald City vibes? Can they match that energy? That is something that we're going to be looking for. And defense. You know what? The Tigers' defense came up big time, especially in the last game. Can they come up big time on the road at Seattle? Lots to watch out for in this game. But you know what, Tyler? I'm feeling confident in your Tigers, Tyler. I feel like I'm still on the wagon of they're going to pull this off in 5. I think they're going to upset Seattle on the road, and they're going to make it rain some tears there from Seattle fans. And Toronto, and I have a feeling it's going to be Toronto and Detroit for the ALCS.
Ooh, 4-1 meet 75.
How about that?
Anyway, now, before we go on to Jake's team, let's just talk about the NLCS because the Los Angeles Dodgers upset the Philadelphia Phillies last night, and they're moving on to the NLCS. The question is, if the Cubs win, do they host? The Cubs travel to there, or will they have to go to Milwaukee if the Brewers win tomorrow night? We'll get into that when we get into Jake's part.
Absolutely. So, a few more thoughts on the Tigers. Mentioned that defense and bullpen. Like I said, I got a feeling this is going to be a bullpen type of game, low scoring, And it's going to come down to whose defense can step up, make those outstretched catches to decide the game, or whose pitchers will be the most calm and the most fueled up, however you want to put it word to word. But I could be wrong, and this could be a high-scoring affair. So, again, my prediction is this will be a bullpen game, low scoring. Tigers come out on top, and we'll travel to Toronto to play in the American League Championship Series. And, hey, okay, Motown. This is it. Big time. This could be one of the biggest games in the history of the Detroit Tigers. Get loud. Wherever you're watching the game from, get loud. Enjoy the vibes. You know, this is the Tigers. This is a team that I think is good enough, not only just to make some noise, but if they can get past Seattle, they could. This is a team that could have a legendary run in the post. This could be what might just be the start of a legendary run in this postseason. And I believe that because the Tigers, they've got the pieces in place. They got the firepower. They got everything. They're in the postseason now. What they did in the regular season, okay, none of that matters, all right? That's all in the past. The energy is there for the Tigers. The vibes are there. They're focused. And no doubt tonight, they'll be ready to come out and play. Can they pull it off?
We'll just have to wait and see.
All right. We talked about the Tigers first, and now we are shifting gears to, hey, Chicago, what do you say? How about them Cubs forcing a Game 5 in the NLDS? So back to Milwaukee for a Game 5. Would you guys like to see a highlight of what happened last night? I would like to, too. Can we see this upcoming clip here? Big-time home run from Ian Happ. And this started pretty much what was a night to remember at Wrigley Field, or a Game 4 to remember. A three-run home run. Ian Happ, one of my favorite players, with a big-time play. Here's a closer look. Great swing. Right down the middle. Just the way you want it. Right in Ian Happ's wheelhouse. And this started pretty much a whole cataclysm, which from that night, the Cubs could do no wrong. And here's the thing. This has been a weird series for the Cubs, okay? And here's why. The strategy has been, okay, score all your runs in the first inning, then let your defense do the rest of the work. And, of course, that blew up in the Cubs' face in Milwaukee. But, of course, in this game, not all the runs were in the first inning. Half of them were. The rest of them were in later innings. So the Cubs kind of ditched out on that strategy and said, okay, let's try to score in other innings as well, because that's going to be key if we're going to beat this Milwaukee team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's just see how it goes. The Cubs, they don't have to go far to finish the series off because, thankfully, not even a drive across I-94 there, that's for sure.
Yep, absolutely. So here's the thing. So, obviously, in this game, while they did score beyond the first inning for once in this series, their defense was a big reason why they won Game 4. And the Cubs' defense is a big reason why we got a Game 5 tonight, because they were able to shut down the Brewers' offense. All the batters, pitching was great, and relief pitching, everything was spot on for the Cubs last night. It was all roses. So a couple things. So Michael Busch, Ian Happ, Kyle Tucker providing the muscle and the firepower, and then guys like Nico Horner, Carson Kelly with a big run, and Kyle Turner. Those guys stepping up big time for the Cubs. Also, I want to mention, how could I talk about the Cubs and not talk about Pete Crow Armstrong? He's been struggling in this series, so if the Cubs want to have any chance to win Game 5 tomorrow night at 8 p.m., got to have some PCA action. We need him to get going in this series.
Yes, you do. You can't go far without PCA now, can you?
PCA, the three most important letters on the Cubs, at least for now. But he's been a machine in the regular season. Postseason, he's been a little slow. But, hopefully, Game 5, he'll get things going. And once more, Cubs are going to need the best pitching possible. They need their defense to just be lights out. Reach for the stars, defense. Get your hands in the air and catch those balls, all right? We need that. More of that. Plus, this is going to be, I believe, another bullpen game. The whole series between the Cubs and the Brewers, it's been nothing but a bullpen series. Whoever's bullpen starts out the hottest ends up winning the game. First two games, it was Milwaukee. And then things were a little close in Game 3, but the Cubs were able to outlast the Brewers. In Game 4, the Cubs bullpen and their defense took control of this game, and the offense pretty much complemented the control that bullpen and that defense had. Big time. That was a huge night. And being able to shut out a high-powered offense like the Brewers, you can't ask for better than that. That's for sure.
I'm still worried about how their history in October, though, the Brewers, that is. I mean, the Cubs, we all know what they had 9 years ago, so there's that. But the Brewers, yeah, there's always that October problem that rear their ugly head. But really, if the Brewers really want to win, they're going to get those bad vibes out badly. This is your best team to make it that has a chance to go far on the National League side, and there's a good chance they might blow it. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's relating to what Tyler said. These are two really good baseball teams. The Cubs, fantastic baseball team. The Brewers, one of the best teams they've ever had. And, okay, I'm a Cubs fan, but it would be kind of a terrible shame if the Brewers season does come to an end here, considering the historical season they've had. Of course, I wouldn't be disappointed because I'm a Cubs fan. So I'm hoping for that the Cubs can serve the Brewers. Okay, no pun intended. I'm hoping the Chicago Cubs could serve the Milwaukee Brewers some Busch beer. And I'm not talking about Anheuser-Busch. I'm talking about Michael Busch beer. We want some Michael Busch home runs, or at least I do. So, okay, fine. Call it whatever you want, pun intended, but hoping for a night like that from the Cubs where they just, whether it's a bullpen game, which I think it's going to be, or a high-scoring game, I'm hoping that the momentum has truly flipped, and the Cubs have flipped it in their favor, and they just are going to ride that momentum to the NLCS against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And that'll be a tough series, too, no matter who gets there. Something else to keep in mind, Cubs are playing not just for the city of Chicago. Now they are playing for an icon of Chicago sports, one Sister Jean by name. Last night, we learned that she passed away at 104 years. So I just want to express my condolences to the family of Sister Jean, who brought a lot, not only brought a lot to the community of Chicago, but everybody knows her for her Final Four appearances at NCAA tournament. She was an icon of the NCAA tournament, and wherever she went, she touched people's lives. So my thoughts and prayers are with the family of Sister Jean.
Yep, Loyola University is not going to be the same without her presence there. May she rest in peace. I mean, still over 100 years old, that's still impressive.
104, a long time to live. She saw a lot in her lifetime.
That she did.
So we got, again, just to recap, Tigers and Mariners tonight. Winner goes to the ALCS. It's going to be a big-time game. And then another big-time baseball game on Saturday. Cubs and Brewers. Winner faces the Dodgers in the NLCS. Sports fans, if you love baseball, this is the weekend for you.
That it is. And now, shifting gears, last night was the Red Wings' centennial season home opener against Montreal, and while it ultimately turned out to be a beat down by the Canadiens and a 5-1 victory for them, that one goal came from Waterford's beloved captain. Can we see the clip?
Detroit, Larkin from Raymond, got it back on the line to Sider. Pass over to Patrick Kane, 8 goals shy of 500 in his career.
Nice movement.
Kane works his way in behind the Montreal goal, centers it out in front. Larkin scores!
Always got to be looking out behind for that guy, not just the middle, but the guy behind you. Larkin, for example, who's in that vulnerable spot in the defense and found a way to score there.
And in that clip, can I just say this, that how cool the Centennial jerseys look? And kudos to Meyer for their helmet sponsorship this time being in one of their older logos as well. But seriously, seriously, that is just so cool that Larkin scored in front of his wife and new daughter, Lennon, who was born earlier this year. I saw footage of her when she was at the game with the wife, and it's just so great that he's now a father. dad strength Larkin really showed at that goal last night, and it's going to show for a while as well.
Absolutely. First of all, I just want to start by saying this. Congrats to Dylan Larkin and his family on the blessings, of course, having a beautiful new daughter to spend some time with. So happy for that family. And I will say this. Red Wing fans, try not to fret too early. If I'm correct, Tyler, that was their first game, was it not?
Yes, that was.
Sometimes
There's still 81 games left.
Yep. Sometimes the first one can be very ugly. Sometimes it's just a boring, or sometimes it goes very well for you. But it's the opening game, and really, the Wings are using that opening game to kind of figure out, okay, what's our lineup going to look like going forward? What pieces, what strengths do we have? What are our weaknesses? How do we move our pieces around? I think the Wings, this is the first game. They're going to take what they've learned from this game and figure out a few things. So no need to panic if you're the Wings. Sometimes these things just happen. You get off to a rough start. And if anything, okay, Dylan Larkin, who else but to get the first goal for the Red Wings this upcoming season? And like Tyler, okay, Detroit, I'll confess this. I'm not a Red Wings fan, so please do not claim me as a Red Wings fan because I am not. Okay. I'm a Chicago guy, but those jerseys are looking really, really sharp. That really, really spectacular look to celebrate your 100th season. I love the stripes on the side. That's the thing I like best about them. And the number font itself, really, really cool too.
Now that mind you, now that the basic white and red uniform is anything bad to sneeze at, mind you, but this Centennial jersey is still awesome in its own unique way.
Yeah. I actually like this one better than the other one that Tyler was just talking about. Not that one isn't a classic in its own right, too, which it is, but this one, like, the Red Wings, they put their work into this Centennial jersey, and it looks good. It really does. And I also had a look at the Rangers Centennial jerseys, and out of all the Centennial jerseys I've seen, I think the Rangers might have the best one. But that's just my take. I love the blue on it, and the number font on the Rangers is really, really cool, too.
But, hey, we get to see both of those when Wings face them.
Absolutely. The white ones will look pretty cool, too. And honestly, and then there's the Blackhawks, which, okay, they're not all that different from their normal jerseys. They just put gold around Chief Blackhawk or the logo or emblem on the center of their jersey, and then they put the 100 patch on them. So they're not all that different. And honestly, I'm okay with that because why ruin a classic? The Blackhawks jersey, I mean, keep it. Okay, so it's 100. It's your 100th season, and you know what? The Blackhawks were just like, look, let's just keep our jerseys the way they are. They're a classic. Everybody loves them, and you know what? The history speaks for itself in the sense of the Blackhawks. So I can give them a pass on not doing too much with their 100 jersey.
Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of being a fan of the original six teams. You get to this centennial moment. It's also like being a fan of a long-standing franchise in the other pro sports as well, especially baseball. When you get to experience such special moments, and when a team hits 100 and farther back, you know.
Yes, indeed. And if you're a Red Wings fan, you're hoping for special moments in the Wings' 100th season, of course. You're hoping for a playoff appearance, that's for sure. And you know what? Don't count yourselves out yet. Still a lot of time to get things figured out. First game is always, you know what? The first game is kind of a test game or testing grounds to figure out where the hockey team is at. And honestly, I could say the same about the Blackhawks. They're 2 games into their season, and the Blackhawks are 0-2. They've played well in all those games. Bedard has a goal to start the season, and so does Frank Nazar, who had the first goal of the NHL season for not just the Blackhawks, but across the whole league. And yet, the Blackhawks have played well, just unfortunately not well enough to win these games yet. So still some things to figure out.
Have they played at home yet?
No, they have not. They've been on the road. I know. The Blackhawks, once again, they got to start life on the road, just like the last 2 seasons. So, but it is what it is, and you know what?
Must be some events going on at UC this time around again.
Yeah. And, yeah, if I had to guess, maybe there was something going on at the United Center. What it is, if it was anything, I couldn't tell you what it is. Been busy looking up a whole lot of other things and trying to prepare great content for all you sports fans, of course. The thing is, though, hey, tough start to the season, but it's not like the Blackhawks haven't played well. They have played really good hockey, and they do have a point so far this season, losing in overtime to the Bruins. So there's a lot that I like what the Blackhawks are doing. They're playing hard, playing the full 60. Just they've come up short. And you know what? Like I said, this is a season where I don't think the Blackhawks are going to make the playoffs. I'm just hoping for progress and hopefully not to be the bottom of the NHL barrel again.
Ouch.
Goodness sake.
Dang, that's not looking too good if you would be at the bottom of the barrel again, even with Bedard as your top price you got in the NHL draft lottery a few years back.
Yeah. I mean, hey, this team's still growing, still young, but you know what? They're playing well to start the season, even despite starting 0-2. So it's Blackhawks fans, it's not all bad news so far. And for the Wings fans, same thing. Not all bad news. You're only one game in. Just got to find your groove. And
81 more games to go. Tomorrow night you're hosting Toronto.
Yeah. Pretty much, anything to say about the Red Wings, just got to put some more pucks in the net. I mean, okay, Montreal put 5 in the net, which, hard to beat a team that scores 5 goals in one game.
Yeah.
But you just got to, it's the same thing for both the Blackhawks and the Red Wings. Got to put pucks in the net. And, for the Red Wings, they got guys who can put pucks in the net. And, again, it's game 1. They'll take what they've learned from this game, apply it to the next game, and wouldn't surprise me if they win the next one and score, 5 or 6 goals.
We'll just see what happens, obviously.
Yep. But, hey, welcome to the new NHL season, everyone.
Yep, it's here. Get ready for more exciting hockey this upcoming winter.
Yes, indeed. And and here's another thing. Okay, to my friends in Detroit and those in Chicago, okay, if you think things are kind of if you're not feeling good about how things are going right now in terms of sports, just remember one thing. You could be going through the stretch that Philadelphia is going through right now. And they had a night last night, Tyler, they would like to just forget about. Not the worst night in Philadelphia sports history, but a night that they would just not like to talk about.
Look, I know about how Diaz ended for them. I saw how bad that was ended, but I take it there was much more pain and misery hitting the city of brotherly love.
You know what they say? Company loves misery.
Misery loves company, I think that's what we're saying.
Yep. So, obviously, Tyler mentioned the Phillies falling to the Dodgers after 4 games in the NLDS. That's the worst of it for Philadelphia. That's where the biggest source of their pain comes from. And then you have the Eagles, who lost to the Giants. Granted, the game was on the road, but they didn't just lose to the Giants. They kind of got their butts kicked on the road by a rookie quarterback. And I will admit this, Jackson Dart right now looks great for New York. I was wrong so far about New York waiting to start him. I think they may have turned him loose at the right time. And you know what? I got to give a shout out right now to Cam Scudaboo. That guy can ball out, and he's making a huge difference for the New York Giants. Back to the Philadelphia. So the Eagles, they had a rough night. Now the Eagles have lost 2 in a row. They're in a bit of a rough stretch. And then third and final, they had 3 teams lose last night. We mentioned the Phillies and the Eagles. Flyers lost their opening game to cap it off.
Why am I not surprised? I mean, think about how bad the Flyers have been these days. Who really wants to go to that team, or even the Sixers for that matter, at the new Xfinity Mobile Arena? Of all the 4 teams you have in the South Philadelphia Sports Complex, I feel like going to the Xfinity Mobile Arena is not exactly the most exciting place to be right now.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Okay, Flyers lost their opening game, but that's the least of Philadelphia's problems sports-wise, because the Flyers, they're not expected to do anything this upcoming season of significance. They're expected to be a below 500 team. It's another one of those hockey teams that every now and then they get a good team, and then everything just falls apart after one season of playoff hockey. I don't know what it is with the Flyers. They're a mystery to me. What direction is this rebuild going? Or does this rebuild just constantly start over and over and over again? That's what I'm trying to figure out with the Flyers. And I can imagine Flyer fans, they're just frustrated right now. Or all Philadelphia sports fans are just frustrated with the Flyers. Okay, we don't talk about the Flyers.
And I don't know how many people talk about the Sixers these days.
Well, you could say at least they didn't lose it last night.
Yeah, the NBA season still got a little bit of time to go. So.
Yep.
mean, they're about to start preseason, or already have by now. So there's that.
Yep. And I'll mention that the Eagles, of course, in a 2-game rut right now. And I mean, I don't know what's going on with the Eagles. Could it be the Super Bowl hangover? Do they have a locker room problem going on right now? Or could it be that Nick Sirianni promoted a coach that maybe is holding the team back in a way? That's what I'm trying to figure out. A lot of people were asking for one particular coach for the Eagles to just get canned right away. I think it might have been their offensive coordinator, but I could be wrong. But there's a guy, I don't remember his name, but there's a guy that Philadelphia Eagles fans are not happy with. It's not Nick Sirianni, the head coach. It's one of the other coaches or assistants.
Philly fans aren't happy with Rob Thompson either nowadays after what happened last night. I don't even know if you can really blame him, though.
Yeah. And then, of course, the biggest source of the pain for Philly from last night, it's the Phillies. They had such huge expectations, such huge hopes, and it all came crashing down yet again. Another promising season. Down the tubes again. They lose to the Dodgers in 4. And now there's some questions about whether or not the window for the Phillies has slammed shut.
We'll just have to wait and see what happens next year when spring training begins.
Yep. So this is just a recap. Me and Tyler were just recapping the painful night that Philadelphia had. Hey, as a Chicago sports fan, I've been there before. I've had a lot of painful nights too. I mean, most of our team, with the Cubs being in the playoffs, I don't expect the Blackhawks to be in the playoffs. We'll see if the Bears actually find a way to get to the postseason. Bulls stuck in purgatory, and we just don't even talk. We don't acknowledge the White Sox. I don't acknowledge the White Sox. I don't even care for them. Get the White Sox out of here. Detroit's been... Yeah, the White Sox. Hey, it could be...
I still proved my point of my tip to you all those months ago, okay? They are strong words to heed.
Yeah.
I think you know what I'm talking about.
For sure. Yeah, I still remember that tip, and I'll always keep that in mind. And Detroit's been through some lows too, and of course, almost all their teams are really good. Even the Red Wings have a talented team. They're just kind of stuck not being in the playoffs. But hey, Philly, everybody goes through this. We all have good nights. We all have bad nights.
Yep.
Been there before too. Things will only get better. And hey, at least your Phillies had a chance to go and win the World Series. And you know what? The Eagles, they'll still make the playoffs. I think they'll get out of this rut somehow. It's just something's going on.
And to any of my New Jersey family that's dealing with it right now, I am very sorry. I was hoping for a Phillies run too, but I feel your pain right now. It is not fun in southwestern New Jersey.
Now, I feel for the Eagles fans who are well behaved, I feel bad for you. Mm-hmm. But for the Eagles fans who think it's a great idea to just trash your city after big wins and big losses, okay, I feel bad for you too, but just because things go right or wrong, don't trash the city either, okay? Point is, hey, we all go through this level of pain.
Mm-hmm. You could already go for 0-17.
Yeah.
Two teams win 0-16.
Or you could have a baseball team that, loses over like 110 games in a season. Ouch. I think you all know who I'm talking about.
I thought we don't talk about the White Sox.
Well, if we do talk about them, which sometimes I do, it's not for the right reasons. The problem is it's hard to find a right reason to talk about the White Sox. And plus, I'm a Cubs fan.
I know, there's that. And like I said, I will give the White Sox Stadium credit for having good food. That mac and cheese we had. I know what you're talking about, the trip from last August, but still, that mac and cheese we had at the game. Seriously, the White Sox food contestants are on point, and I'll give them that.
Good concessions. And I liked the hot dog I had at Wrigley Field, of course, but it just felt right to have a hot dog at Wrigley Field. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll bring that subject to a close, and now we are shifting gears to this week's golden moment in sports. And by the way, Tyler, this week's golden moment in sports happens to involve food. Ooh. And at the ballpark. And how about this? Apparently, trades are a big deal in sports, but apparently trades can happen between players and fans themselves. Take this clip, for example. How about this? I think that's a ginormous hot dog that is being traded for a baseball bat.
Wow.
So the Blue Jays get some chowder, and this little fan wins the deal by getting an authentic baseball bat from the Blue Jays. They're just like, hey, let's make a deal. Give us your chowder, give us that hot dog, and we'll give your kid a baseball bat. How's that sound for a fair?
Baseball is so unique. You can actually get to take people's equipment if they fly it into the stands. You can keep foul ball that go into the stands. You can't do that in the NFL with game balls in the NFL. I don't even want to know about hockey and basketball. And apparently, a sport like cricket, the ball doesn't. You can't keep the ball if it goes into the stands, there, into the oval, in their enclosed stadiums. Apparently,
I'm just gonna start by saying this. Before I found this clip yesterday, I didn't even know you could barter with MLB players, let alone athletes across any sport. But apparently, it's possible if you follow the right sport. And baseball, this is the thing I like about baseball. Baseball produces probably the most authentic arguably the most authentic golden moments across sports. And this is an example. A kid ends up getting a baseball bat because the adults he was with decided to look out for his best interests and say, all right, we're going to trade away our pregame dinner to the ball players in exchange. And you know what? The ball players, they got some pregame chowder. They got some energy now. They got some fuel in the
why
tank.
can't baseball players have hot dogs?
Right?
I mean, Baby Ruth supposedly ate a high amount in one game, so.
Yeah, it's not uncommon. I guess it's not uncommon for athletes to eat. I mean, it's not uncommon for athletes to eat before the game, but to trade for ballpark food, something I did not have in my bingo card in terms of coming up with golden moments. But
Nope.
Here we are. All right, Tyler, I'll ask you one last question before we end this episode. Who do you think won that trade? Be truthful.
I think the kid did. I mean, come on, think about it. You can get a hot dog anytime at Rogers Center or any of the 29 other ballparks. How often can you end up with a baseball bat, though? An authentic game-used one at that.
Absolutely. And I'm in agreement with Tyler. And here's why the kid won the trade. He didn't just get a baseball bat. He got a golden moment that he will not ever forget, and a golden moment he'll be able to tell his children. Like, yeah, my folks traded a ginormous hot dog or whatever the meal was for a baseball bat. Totally worth that trade, especially if you're the fan receiving the baseball bat. And also, by the way, that happened in the Toronto Blue Jays park, and congrats to the Toronto Blue Jays who are playing in the ALCS.
Yep, like we just talked about.
They await either Seattle or Detroit. Detroit fans, we're all hoping, fingers crossed, that it's the Tigers tonight.
Yep, we'll just have to see what happens.
Yes, sir. Sports fans, we hope you've enjoyed this week's Friday Roundtable. I want to give a special thanks once more to my man, Tyler Lavalette, who works so hard. I want to give a special thanks to Josh, and Whitney, and everybody here at Waterford 10 Studios who do an amazing job making all of this possible. Without them, none of this is possible. So,
absolutely.
So grateful for these people. Follow us on Two Guys Talk Sports and other things on YouTube for more Friday Roundtables. And if you like watching it on Facebook, follow us on Two Guys Talk Sports on Facebook as well. And with that said, we are going to sign off and let you folks enjoy your weekend filled with college football and the best of the MLB. This is Jake Waxman.
And Tyler Lavalette.
Wishing you all a good weekend. Take care, sports fans.